Oh, take that off. Maybe take that off. Try to look presentable. All right, here I am. Shalom, good morning. Whew, whew. I brought all my stuff down because, well, projects, right? But Pastor just gave me a big kiss and a hug this morning, said, hey, it's 10 years since we've been on Shofar Mountain. Shalom, chasing life. And so I thought I'd do a live stream. We talked about earlier, like having some kind of celebration with the congregation and everything, but Pastor and I are just not people to get all worked up about, mandatory, let's throw a party kind of things. And so we ended up not doing it. Here you go. Like, how exciting is that? Not really that exciting that we don't want to do something special. So I thought, you know what? I'll do a live stream with my crew. That'll be kind of special. So here we are. And what I'm doing right now is not working on that shed back there. That's what all the supplies coming down here is for. I do want to work on that shed, but I'm going to give you guys like a half hour just to talk. And give you just a little bit of history on how we got here. Good morning, Phoebe at Leadwood Mare. Oh, thanks. Yeah, I love the colors in this scarf. Give me a thumbs up or a yes if you want to hear kind of how the early days started down here. And in the meantime, I will give you a little bit of inspiration. Leah Denino of, dang, now I can't remember their ministry name. Isn't that horrible of me? They're Torah observant people. They have a YouTube channel. Her husband is James. She also has Instagram. And lately her Instagrams have been very calm. They live on a mountain too. Yes, please, said David Carr. Okay. Hello, everyone, said Carrie Stennett. Hello, Carrie. Anyway, her Instagram has been very calm, very reflective. And she did a really nice little video on there where she read Psalm 115 and said it was her favorite psalm, and made the comment, as we all do who read the word, like all of them are awesome. Basically, all the psalms are my favorite psalms. But it was just a nice, quiet, reflective moment, and the Spirit's been speaking to me a lot lately. I've kept my channel pretty secular, just because my husband cautioned me, like, you got to be careful about trying to throw a seed out, that you don't be a stumbling block for somebody or misrepresent the word and the Father. And so I've been pretty guarded with that. Hey, shalom, Patty Sanchez and Soapy Acres Homestead and Chasing Life and everybody. And thank you, channel supporters and renters. My God. Can't think of the word for you guys either. Moderators. Yes, thank you for being moderators, you who accepted that. But the Spirit's been talking to me and saying, you should try to feed the sheep too. You should try to give a little, spiritual water to those believers out there. And so that's kind of how I felt this morning after watching her reading Psalms. I thought, all right, a little bit of sprinkling of the holy water. Not that I have any monopoly on it. Of course I don't. We all have it. Everyone who has it in you, you're a fountain of living water. So just be encouraged, people of faith. The signs are everywhere of bad times, but the signs are everywhere of good things too. I'm encouraged to see how many believers and non-believers are returning to a homesteading lifestyle and finding it fulfilling and talking about it on their channels, where they just love to get up in the morning, drink their coffee, look over their little, whatever acre spread, and just have that quiet, peaceful time away from the stress and the, unrelenting input from the outside world. It's this truly is, just like I tell people who are coming to Torah, if you're coming to Torah or you've come to Torah in the last since the turn of this century, it's a century, right? No, turn of the year, since 2022 started, really since 2000 started, it is a century. You're part of a historic wave of people in this religious movement here in the U.S. and worldwide. Worldwide, people. It's not just Americans. Moving from the city to the country is not easy, but I'm starting to realize moving from one rural homestead to another is even harder. There's a lot of details, a lot of moving parts when you do that. Go ahead, this is 5.
I'm shooting the video now. I'll call you when I'm done.
Copy. I'm doing a live stream right now. A lot of moving parts there. And at the same time all this is happening, I'm writing, and this is just a little teeny teaser. Hopefully I won't be repeating this because I want to make sure I follow through. I want to make sure that my word I follow through on, and I don't just throw it out there and then I let it drop. I'm writing a little pamphlet called Homestead Hints for people who want to move to a homestead, to bare land or even land with some amenities on it. And just the fact that Palmetto said that to me is spiritual. It's a spiritual confirmation that I don't need to even be told. I don't need to proclaim Torah is truth, but it is. And I don't need to proclaim that my faith is based on, I think, a pretty daggone solid foundation. I've already said some of those things in my videos, but it is. With as many years study as I have and many countries I've been to and the different religions I've seen and been in and joined and whatever, this is the best walk. It absolutely is. So we're in the dark months of winter, and yet at the same time, the Father shines everything on us. Good morning, Rob Painless from Texas. Tell Pastor Joy I said hello and thank you for everything, John Cox. I think you've said that to me before, and I think I've said it to him at that time. Soapy Acres, we keep moving farther out. We move from the country to the boonies, right? You're getting the absolute crystallized version when you come out and do it from scratch, but not everybody has to do that. I just want to say that. And so we've been here 10 years, and where will you publish or make it available? Okay, so she's got my publisher and editor is Debarim Publishing. She's a young mom, she's a believer, and this is her calling. She has skills and everything. Hey, Gianna, wife of KC, shalom. She has a children's book. She's advertising right now on Instagram and at, I think, Grindstone Ministries. Grindstone Ministries or Refuge Medical is advertising that. Bear Independence, outreaches. She has a children's book there. It's really good. And we are in the latter stages of finishing up the writing. Oh, thank you, Ken. Aw, new pen fund for your writing. That is so sweet. Thank you very much. Bless you. Let the Father bless you in return for just being a giving guy. Aid, good morning. Having some coffee just now. You should be too. He's going to be having some tea. Anyway, we're in the last stages. I've written what I hope are the last paragraphs. It's not meant to be a great big long thing. It's meant to be just like a quick reference thing. And so, Jenna, it's not a book, it's a pamphlet. But it's on homesteading, and it hopefully we'll have it out this spring. That would be awesome if we could get it done by this spring. Patty Sanchez, Debarim Publishing is amazing. Yeah, she's a really driven lady, and I have a lot of respect for her. So she's and she has to push me. When you hear me saying, sorry, my nose is running. When you hear me saying, Sarah, it's okay for you to poke me. That's what I'm saying. Push, because I've got a lot on my plate and I want to do it, and I'm getting better at sitting down when I'm supposed to. But it's what editors do. You see it in movies. They push their writers. Come on. Otherwise, we get lazy and forgetful, whatever. Anyway, definitely want a copy of it when it becomes available. Well, thank you, Carrie. I'm hoping it'll be, sort of internet popular. Anyway, we're off topic. I want to get back to how we got started right here. Okay? So I'm going to start 25, 30 years ago when Pastor and I were just a young military couple and no children yet. He'd been in the military for like 4 years and needed to decide if he was going to sign back up. Hey, Lone Star. Thanks. I sent you a reel recently I thought you'd like. Anyway, we sat down and had a real discussion about what do we want to do? Do we want to stay in the military? And what do we picture our life being like out once we're done? And we both decided and agreed that we wanted rural property. We wanted something with water. We probably wanted to have some animals, etc. And so my husband's really good at planning and carrying out steps in a plan. And what we did was get a copy of United National Realty. Hey, J.D. Walker, which at the time was, like a book this big with rural properties listed for every county in the country. This was before the internet. And so we went through that book looking for a lot of land and cheap land, and a lot of land, cheap land that would have water on it. And we narrowed it down to 3 areas, and then we visited the 3 areas in the country, sometimes just for a few hours, but we went and found this land that we're on now. It was only $258 an acre at the time, and we didn't have a lot of money, but the owner, because you can't get a mortgage on land, or you couldn't then, agreed to take payments. And they were an older couple. They were in their 80s. He was still a real estate agent, and he sold us his land. This was his land. And he gave us, it was a good price. And he's in his 80s. We thought, our money is going to help support this guy and his wife. And it did. And then we were stationed overseas. And part of being stationed overseas with the U.S. military, oh, wow, I'm talking so fast. Sorry. Is they will give you some extra money to deal with issues in whatever country you're being sent to. And so we were loaned the down payment by family members with an agreement we would pay them back with interest, which we did. And while we were in that foreign country, instead of getting like a gardener and a maid, we opted to do things ourselves and take our extra money and make double payments to this elderly couple, so they would get that money while they were still alive. Because how long are they realistically going to be around anymore? And actually, during the time we were paying for it, the older man did die, but his wife, we wrote her a letter and said, we're very sorry, but we're going to keep paying you, and we are going to, hey, RRFF, welcome, shalom. We are going to pay her double payments, and we paid the land off in a very short time using the money that we weren't spending in the foreign country. So that is how it was bought. Then for the next 15 years, while we're in the military, we are traveling all over. We would pay the taxes on it, which was very low, but we sometimes even forgot we owned it. So then when we got out finally, we were talking to ourselves, because by the time we finished our military stuff, we had 3 children who were still in school. We had a lot more stuff, and we weren't sure how we were going to get down here, but we agreed this was going to be our retirement place. And in the meantime, the area around it had grown, but this particular plot had not changed a lot. It was on the end of a dirt road. You have to go through someone's property to get here. There's an easement, blah, 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 blah. Lots of really cool stuff happening. Won't go into that. Fast forwarding. So we come to Torah, and we're now 7 years out of the military. No, more like 14 years out. We come to Torah after 7 years being a Christian church pastoral couple. And then, hang on. And then we go to visit Straightway Ministry. And while we were there, we get inspired by the Holy Spirit. Hey, we should have a community. Where are we going to put them? Maybe we'll sell our property, High Prairie Acres, and buy some land and have a community up there. And then we like, bring, you have property. You can do it on your property. So that started the ball rolling 10 years ago. And there were a couple of families that we met online, and one family we knew in person who wanted to start with us. And they came down here before we did, and were living here. And then we started the infrastructure, and my husband eventually retired from the job he got after the military, and we've been living here ever since. So 10 years. And I've gone through iterations of people living with us and trying to do community, and it not working, and Pastor and I just getting really bummed out and saying we're not going to do it again. And then as soon as we're ready to quit, here comes some more people who want to try. And so we went through a couple of iterations of that. And then after the last group was here and it didn't work either, not in the way that you all think of, all of us living together all the time. After that didn't really work, we decided this was not the way for us. And some people could yell at us and criticize us and say, you didn't work hard enough. You didn't do this. It's not for people to say that. They don't know what we gave up. They don't know how it affected our family and our property to have this happen. So we came upon the latest iteration, which is a little bit more extended, still with a congregation, still with people who want to support each other and mutually benefit with the relationship and everything else. But they are on their own property and we are on our own property, and with an idea that if we have to, we can all come together, and working on our own skills in the meantime. Dragon Shield 1776, good morning, Snowy from Montana. I hope your wife is feeling better. Montana's a beautiful place. My brother lives up in Montana now. You're up there where it's rugged, and God bless you. All right, so that is the basis of how we got here. And again, in the meantime, all that's happening, the Father's throwing blessings here and there. Every time we would get, good morning, Unicorn Hollow Homestead from Texas. Lone Star Living's in Texas, and I think Colleen Rodimer. So if you see him on here, you can... every time we get discouraged, every time we think, nope, this is, the world or our health or whatever discourages us, he throws us a blessing and opens our eyes to even more. And so 10 years into off-grid living, Rob Painless from Texas. Wes asks if he comes on, it's from Texas. We get confirmation when we need it that this is the lifestyle. And we get it from y'all, from our subscribers and followers. We get it from online sources, like I said, Instagram. Aids in Texas too. Nice. Have a big breakfast of eggs and sausage and hash browns. From international sources, there's Gary Conley. Hello from Orlando. She had an appointment for tests and started treatment this morning near Tulsa. Well, prayers for her safe travels too, and that treatment works, brother. Absolutely. There's Mark Chase. Shalom. They're fussing because the dog went through. Hey, it's okay. You're not going to hurt you. It's okay. Go sit. You're welcome. See, Garen's down there too. Yeah, have a meetup. We bought this place. It wasn't raw land, but anyone else would have bought it and demolished the house. I rebuilt it one room at a time, and now we're renting it out. Oh, awesome, Palmetto Paratrooper. That's awesome. It's steps like that. Like, I've learned so much since we got down here about goals and working towards them, which is, I'm 60. You would have thought I would have learned that already. But when you're living the way we did and we move, it's hard to settle long enough to set a goal and see it accomplished. But we've been working on stuff. There's Tim Pack. Shalom. Say hello to Tim, everybody. I met him in person recently. Seems like a very nice guy. But now I'm super excited. Like, I'm super excited to keep working on that thing, which looks like a hunk of junk. But just through living here, relationships with people, relationships with my family, my husband, and y'all, I just feel like I'm in a really good place right now. I kind of wanted to share that with you. There is Grandma Ginger's farm, and she is a blessing too. And thank you, all of you channel supporters. Grandma Ginger's farm told me I could grow ginger here. And I was like, I hadn't even thought of that. And so she's like, oh yeah, I'll send you some. And she sent me some ginger, and then I planted it, and by golly, it grew. Like, you guys feed me with your knowledge and your comments. Some of you, like Linda Hipple, make these, she doesn't talk often, but she'll make a comment on a post about gardening stuff, and she's just so knowledgeable. And Chasing Life, so encouraging. Gardner 67, so encouraging. Rob Painless, Wes, funny, what do you call it, comments to cheer us up. Welcome Meyerstead. You can't do it all in one day, so one step at a time, said Colleen. And it's been 10 years. It's been 1 year at a time. And we feel like we're getting nowhere. But when people we know come here, I had someone come here who actually sees us regularly, and she hadn't seen us in no more than a week, and showed up and said, wow, you all have done a lot of stuff in this past week. That encourages me too. I mean, the chainsaw work that I did just that one day, I can't do it all day long because it'll wear me out, but the chainsaw work I did improved the property, and like, it's noticeable. So I'm on fire. I'm on fire for getting stuff done around here. I want you guys to be encouraged too. I want you to be thinking, and hopefully you'll give me some feedback. Do you love your homesteads if you have one? Do you love your relationship with the Father and Torah? Because I know I do. Even in this part of the winter time when it's dark and gloomy, I love it. You need to look back where you were at various times, and you'll see the progress. That's how I feel, says Nurse Jana. Like, we aren't making any progress. Where right now we are managing more than just a homestead. That's right. And we've got some big plans coming up. We have big plans here. We have been canvassing the property, taking stock in what is here and what we can do with it. And we are going to do some major gardening and planting. Love our relationship with the Father and following him in all this. And Righteous Revival Fire Farm she's a very experienced homesteader too. She's got a lot of knowledge, a lot of good information. Very, very sweet lady. We have bamboo, Colleen. See that? Woo-hoo. Every once in a while, Mosby's man comes on here, and he came here. He knew us before. He knew us in the time when we were still in the survivalist mode, and Pastor tells some stories about that on Patreon. It was around the year 2000, and we were meeting with people who wanted to, be prepping for whatever. And we met Ray then, Mosby men, and he has been coming here ever since, like 25, 30 years, and he brought bamboo 10 years ago and planted it, and we have a stand of bamboo. So one thing I can do now entails, okay, let me go back, let me read. I do love this homestead. I'm sad to leave it, but excited to go to a larger piece of land closer to like-minded believers and with what is possibly the nicest building I've ever lived in. Oh, that's exciting. Rob Painless, you're absolutely correct. 1 year at a time. Sometimes it seems we make no progress, but when we step back and look at the big picture, we can see what we've done. Shalom from an Amtrak passing through Nevada. I love hearing your story, says Meyerstead. Well, thanks. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. No, it's not food per Leviticus. It's unclean. It's just a saying. We're not saying eat an elephant. I wouldn't do it anyway. One of my dreams for this property was to have an elephant refuge here. I'm like, man, we got enough property. We could do it. And my husband's like, what are we going to feed them? So we got trees. They can eat the trees. They eat trees. And he just laughed at me. Homesteading entails a chain of chores, and it can seem like you're never done, but it all adds up. And another thing, Ledwin Mayor, I'm starting to try to be smarter about the chore requirements, because everything we did was very minimalistic, and it takes a lot of time and effort every day. But I'm starting to think in my head, all right, how can I streamline these things? Now that I've got them here and they work, how do I make them work better? And I'm still, working on it. What did Chasing Life say? She's always so sweet. Don't know why, but my daughter and her family moved to Arkansas. I think it was a calling from PJ, says Gary Conley. Huh. Well, are you upset by that? Is she happy? For this task-oriented person who likes checking out boxes, homesteading is hard. It's never finished. It's true, but you do get to a point where once you've got your initial setup going, you can take a breath and then say, all right, what do we want to do? What do we want to do next? I'm a stubborn person set in my own ways. You, Pastor Joe Bear, and Saul have taught me to seek the Most High's ways, not mine. And that's a tough road to be on, John Cox, because I was the same way, super stubborn. But when you move in that direction and you see the Father give you a little, okay, I'm approving what you're doing, keep going, it encourages you to continue on that way. I believe 2014 was the first time I visited Shofar Mountain. So it was, Palmetto, was that camp out? Was that camp out? Or was it after that? Yeah, he's been coming for a while. What is that, 8 years or something? If you can do one little thing a day before you know it, you've accomplished a lot. Amen. Love my property, but wrong area. Will be very hard to leave, but we have plans. And that property you have is worth something. It can help fund your next step. You can rent it to somebody. You can sell it. You can Airbnb it, right? I mean, it's an asset no matter what. Maybe it was 2050, so it'll be 7 years. Seeing both successes and failures that people share from their homesteads is encouraging. It's nice to see things done wonderfully, but nice to be reminded that I'm not the only one messing up. Right? And Instagram can be depressing because people will show like their absolutely adorable gardens and they're super cute. Like, oh, there was a woman on there today. Her husband built her a work of art homestead, like coop thing for her 300 chickens. It was huge and just stunning. And it's like, all right, good for her. I'm glad she got to do that. I don't think I'm ever going to want 300 chickens, and our coops are working, so I'm not going to complain. No, glad the good Lord led her that way. Well, amen, Gary. I hope it keeps going for her. If you have a spring, tap into it to help you run water to other spots, says Colleen. We don't have a spring, but it's a great idea. It was the last or second to the last bug out bag exercise. Right. I remember it. I didn't always come to all the bug out bag exercises either. Pastor has a much better memory of those things. And we still, like, we walked around the property again, and every time I see those fireplaces from different bug out bag campouts here, I'm like, that was Paleo Hebrew man right there. Absolutely adorable garden. What is that? Not me this year. You know what I'm talking about, Rob. They got the laid out raised beds. They're perfectly aligned and clean, and the little arches over top and some sort of bigger thing in the background. Reap What You Sow has a gorgeous garden too. Mine never looks like that, but if it produces, I'm happy with it. Let's see her 300 chicken mansion in 3 years, right? And it's going to cost a lot of money, but maybe they have it. I mean, just the wood chip bedding in the bottom, holy shnikey. But it's on a concrete floor. She's probably going to have a power spray to clean it. I'm glad for her. She's probably selling her eggs too. 30 chickens is more than enough for me. I'm actually starting to get a little worried because I've had so many hatch this year. I've got a whole nother 13 chickens, half grown now, that are going to need a place to stay, and I don't know if my coop's big enough to hold them all. Grandma Junior's farm, exactly, and maybe they have people come in and help them. Maybe if she can afford to build that thing, she can afford to have people come clean it for her. Weather was a bummer. I could see PJ in Viking garb on the back of a war elephant. That's very imaginative. I don't know that he'd ever do it. I'll buy the extra chicken from you soon. I don't know if I'm selling them, Palmetto. They're the babies of several hens who laid there and hatched their own chicks. Like, I don't know if I'm ready to part with them. We'll talk, though. And they're pretty cute, too. I want to do an Instagram photo shoot of them because there's so much variety in how they look now because the parents are all different. It's a red rooster and hens with Sussex in them and buff Orpington hens, and we got yellow and red and spotted and speckled. They're really cool. Mine looked like a nuclear waste site. Guess that's what happens when you get 0 rain for 8 months, right? Mine was pretty bad. Some stuff came back once the rain happened again, but I also saw it as an argument for store water, right? Do some rain catchment, have some here. Like I got these trash cans over here to store water in when it comes off the roof. Store some water. Like, I don't have a hose. When you live off grid, you can't just turn the hose on and squirt it. And if you're in a dry area and they say don't use your hose, yeah. I would be interested in getting bamboo shoots to plant, Dragon 1776 says. He brought it up from Louisiana. I know you can buy them online, and people can make those shoots too. Oh man, that duck's eating that grass. That's cool. It's an edible grass too. I'm glad he noticed that. Let's see if I can show you this guy. These 3 ducks in this grassy area right in here. This is wild oats of some kind. And they stopped, but they were in there, and the drake was eating the seed heads that he could get a hold of. Getting bamboo shoots to plant. Around here, bamboo is just growing alongside the road, right? It grows in our area alongside the waterways, too. Montana's kind of cold, though, man. I don't know if it would, I guess it grows in China. China gets cold. Squirrel duck. All right, you guys, I've been on here 35 minutes. I need to go get another battery. I forgot the battery for my drill. I charged it up and then I left it at the house, so I'm going to have to ride back up there. But, yeah, I'm going to have to get off here so I can get to work on that thing. And also my battery didn't have much charge on it, so it's going to run out. Mine was far the worst. One yellow squash that was edible. My potatoes were my only success, and I was disappointed with them. There's always next year. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, you guys. Yeah. Happy anniversary to us. La, 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 la. It's been 10 years on YouTube, too, but am I a YouTube sensation? Not really. It's okay, though. Please pray for my daughter if she's battling cancer. We sure will. Sweet! NWA Prepper says, that's so sweet. Fun hearing about. Been a fan for at least 5 years. Got out of LA 2 years ago. The Ozarks, thanks to you and PJ. It's my 5 acres. Hard work, but our chicken started laying, and it's coming together. Said David Dewey. Listen to that testimony. David Dewey, thank you for sharing that. We all should be encouraged by that. I know I am, because we guided you all to do this with our videos. And people did it, and it terrified us. We're like, did we just tell people to do the right thing? Like, this is like, we need to take this seriously. Thank you, David Dewey. Yes, we are recommending this life to you because it is beneficial. Amen. Hallelujah. The Father blesses us. Good to see y'all doing well. Thanks, Jim Toby. Have a great weekend, everybody. Shalom, shalom. Love all your talks. Have a very blessed day. Thanks, JJ Walker. Hope everyone has a productive day. Thank you for sharing your time. You're a sensation to us. It's chasing life. You're an inspiration to me, lady. Oh my God, squash is horrible. Squash with strength, every drop of spray. Put on them and ask for refills. No squash, even zucchini. Maybe get those bags on those things, Rob. Those squash bugs are just, supposedly ducks eat them too. Shalom, may God bless and keep you. You too. Happy anniversary on your homestead life. Have a great productive day. You too. Be safe out there, y'all. Bless you. Shalom, shalom. Yay, 10-year anniversary. Okay. All right. That'll be fun.